Okay, so in this video we're going to find the binomial expansion of this term here, 4 minus x to the power of minus 1/2. Now, first of all, we need to write down the binomial expansion formula. So that states that 1 plus ax to the power of n, that is equivalent to 1 plus, first term is ax times n. Second term is plus, now we do n times n minus 1 over 2 factorial, and then we multiply that by ax squared. Next term we add n minus 1, n minus 2, this time over 3 factorial, and the ax is cubed. Okay, so that's our layout for how we're going to do the question. So first of all, we've got 1 plus ax to the power of n. Let's write this in terms of that. So we've got a 4 and we've got a minus ax to the power of n. So our n is minus 1/2. So let's just write that here first. So n equals minus 1/2. But it's a little bit awkward at the moment. We've got 1 plus ax. So we could put a as minus 1, but we've got the 1 here. Whereas here we've got a 4. So we need to try and find out if we can get a 1 in there. So let's just write this 4 minus x to the power of minus 1/2. That is equivalent to 1 over, so minus 1/2. So when it's minus, the exponent is in the denominator, and a half is the square root. So this is equivalent to square root of 4 minus x. Okay, so now this, we can do something now with this square root of 4 minus x. We could perhaps factor out the 4. So we put that as equals, and then equals again 1 over square root. Now let's factor out this 4. So 4 times 1 minus x over 4. So that's still the same term as here and here, but now we've got it in the form of this one here. So now if we take the square root of 4 out of the radical, then we can do 2 times the square root of 1 minus x over 4. Okay, so now if we can just rewrite that again, just to make things a little bit even more simpler. So 1/2 times 1 over square root of 1 minus x over 4. Okay, so if we write that in terms of this, like this, we then get 1/2 times 1 minus x over 4 to the power of 1/2. So now we've got it into the kind of form that we like. Although we've got a plus and a minus, we can just put in a minus sign for our a value here. So we've got n equals minus 1/2. That's fine. So now we can put our a as minus x over 4. So our a is minus 1/4. So a equals minus 1 over 4. So that's all our bits ready now to go ahead and plug in for this one. So what we can say is that this is equivalent to 1, that will stay, plus, now before we go on any further, we have to multiply this formula by 1/2. So I'm just going to just put that there like that, and then put a 1/2 here, because we're going to multiply through by 1/2. So 1 plus ax, well ax is minus 1/4 times x, so that's minus x over 4, and timesing that by n, times by minus 1/2. Okay, that's that term taken care of. Now this one. So we got the plus n times n minus 1. So minus 1/2 is our n. So let's just put that in there. And then n minus 1, so subtract 1 from that again. That now becomes minus 3/2. And then 2 factorial is just 1 times 2, which is 2. Then ax squared. Well, the ax we worked out here is minus x/4. And then that is squared. Okay, so that's everything in there for that one. And now for the next one, n and n minus 1. Well, we got them here already. It's minus 3/2. And then n minus 2, just subtract 1 again. That's minus 5/2. This time is 3 factorial. Well, 3 factorial is 1 times 2 times 3, which we know is 6. And then ax cubed, well, ax is minus x/4, and that's cubed. Okay, so now we've got everything in there. Just close off the brackets because we're multiplying through by 1/2. What we've got to do now is just simplify this all off. So that equals 1/2. Okay, 1 can stay. Okay, we've got to be careful here because lots of minus signs spread around, so we're just going to be really careful. So the denominator is 4 times 2, which is 8. So that's going to be over 8. And then minus x times minus 1 is positive x. So we can write plus x/8. Okay, next term. So we're going to have minus 1/2 times minus 3/2. So minus 1 times minus 3 is 3. So we'll leave the plus. So that's 3. And the divided by is 4. So minus 3, so plus 3/4 divided by 2. And then minus x/4 squared. Well, we just square top and bottom. So minus x squared will give us positive x squared. And then 4 squared is 16. So that's this term. And then now this one. So we know minus 1/2 times minus 3/2 is 3/4. So if we just write 3/4 in there and multiply that by minus 5/2. That keeps our calculation simpler. And then divided by 6. And now here minus x/4 cubed. So just go a little bit careful here. Minus x cubed will yield minus x cubed. And 4 cubed, 4 times 4 times 4, 64. Okay, and then close the bracket off. Okay, let's simplify off a little more again. Keep the 1/2, we'll come to that at the end. First 2 terms are good. They're good to go. 1 plus x/8. Okay, now this one. 3/4 divided by 2 will give us 3/8. So that there is 3/8. And then 3/8 times x squared over 16 will give us 3x squared over, so 3/8 times 16 is 3/128. So that's plus 3x squared over 128. Okay, so next one. Let's work this one out. 3/4 divided by 6, that's going to give us 3/24, which is 1/8. So that's those 2 sorted. And then times by minus 5/2. So minus 5/2 times 1/8, that's going to give us minus 5/16. Okay, so that's minus 5/16. Just check that the other way around. So 3 times minus 5 is minus 15 over 4 times 2 is 8. That's minus 15/8. And then minus 15/8 divided by 6. That's minus 15/48. 6 eighths of 48, which is minus 5/16. So I'm happy with that. So minus x cubed over 64. So let's just multiply that in there. Okay, let's just rub these workings out now, just take them away. Okay, so now we need to just simplify this off again. So that's 1/2 1 plus x over 8 plus 3x squared over 128. Okay, let's work this one out. So minus 5 times minus x cubed, that's going to give us positive. So that's plus 5x cubed. 16 times 64. Okay, 64 times 16. Well, that is 2 to the power of 6, and this is 2 to the power of 4. So we're going to have 2 to the power of 10, which is 1024. Okay. So now we're just going to multiply through by 1/2. So our answer for this, if I just write this down here, 4 minus 1x to the power of minus 1/2 is equivalent to 1/2 times 1, which is 1/2. Just write that nice and neat. 1/2 times x over 8, that's x over 16. 1/2 times 3x squared over 128, that's 3x squared over 256. And then the last one, let's move these calculations out there. 1/2 times 1024 is, well, 2 times 1024 is 2048. So that's over 2048 and 5x cubed. And obviously this term will keep going on and on and on. Okay, so that is our answer. Now just one thing before we finish. This term here is an approximation for square root of 2. So I'm just going to write that down on here. So 4 plus x to the power of minus 1/2 is a good approximation for square root of 2. Now for this to be a good approximation for the square root of 2, we need x to be as small as possible. So x to be close to 0, so approaching 0. Okay, so for example, if x equals minus 14 or plus 14, absolute value of x is 14. That is quite large. Whereas, for example, if we had x equals minus 1/2 or plus 1/2, then the absolute value of x, let's just write that better, absolute value of x equals 1/2. This would be the better approximation, whereas this one here would be the worse approximation for the square root of 2. Okay,